Today, we're going to talk about new ways to find your top keywords, how to analyze your competitors' listings, how you can use Adtomic for PPC in a better way, and much more. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I am your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the Amazon or Walmart world. And today we're going to talk about all kinds of new tools and new features that you have available to you to help you become more serious sellers on both Amazon and Walmart. So this is going to be based off this webinar that we did that you might have missed last week. And we call it the Bigger, Better Launch. All right. And why do we call it that? Well, Helium 10 is getting bigger. We're getting better. And the way that we're doing that is through launching new features and tools. And this isn't just us coming up with these things. This is from you guys, you Serious Sellers podcast listeners, you Helium 10 users out there who have been giving us a lot of input on the kind of things that you need help on in order to become better Amazon or Walmart sellers. And so we're going to go over all of those different ways and maybe take a little trip down memory lane since it's now also the 6th anniversary of Helium 10 as well. So let's go ahead and hop right into the new features that we are going to start. Now, the way I had started this off when I did that webinar was I did a little pop quiz, and let's just see if you podcast listeners can answer this, especially those of you who are Helium 10 users. So if I were to give you a task on trying to find like the top 20 to 50 keywords for a niche, what would you answer? What is the way to do that in Cerebro? Well, probably if you've been using Cerebro for a couple of years, you would say what we've been teaching for 3 years now is you first get your top 7 or 8 competitors who most look and feel like your product, like the form, the function, the price, everything is very close to your product. In other words, if your potential customer had the choice between your product that you're trying to develop and this competitor's product, would it kind of have an equal chance to get the sale? A situation where that would not be the case, like let's say the product had the exact same form and function, but one was $12 and the other one was $60 because it was like a super high end kind of thing. Well, they're probably not competitors with each other because somebody who is looking for a $12 kind of product, it never in a million years would spend $60 on something, right? So again, you got to have the form, function, and price similar. So anyways, you would take the top 5 to 8 of those and then throw them into Cerebro, using a base ASIN as a seed ASIN, and then you're probably going to get an output of 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 keywords. You're trying to find the top 20 to 30 keywords, right? So what filters do you use? You probably put in a minimum search volume, maybe put that at 400, 500, 600. What you're going to do is say the minimum competitors ranked. You're going to use that filter and you're going to be able to probably put 6 out of 8 or 5 out of 7 or 8 out of 10 or something like that as the minimum number of competitors that you want all ranking for this one keyword, because you want something that not just is relevant to one product, but is kind of like performing well for all of these competitors across the board. So you'll probably use that minimum competitors field. You'll probably also use the competitor rank average. In other words, those 8 competitors, where are they ranked? And if you were to average that number, would they all be on page 1? So maybe you say, hey, show me the ones where on average is like 1 to 50. And you might use 1 or 2 other filters. Well, the thing that we are launching now is something that does that with one click. This is called a Cerebro one-click filter. You guys all have access to this, regardless of what level of Helium 10 you have. But you're going to want to go into there, and you're going to enter in all your competitors just like you normally would. But now, right underneath, there's going to be a button called Top Keywords, and you're just going to go ahead and hit Top Keywords. All right. So with this one-click filter, now what we're doing is I'm going to find all of these keywords that I just mentioned with just one click. And so that's exactly what we're gonna have. You're gonna be able to see all of those top keywords for this niche with only one click because we are pre-doing all of those filters for you. So that's the first edition. Now, the second question that I was giving people was, okay, so you've got your top keywords now. What is the second step of keyword research? And again, those of you who've been using Helium 10 for a while, you might know the answer to this because it's right there in our learn videos and our training videos, is you want to go in and find the keywords where not everybody's ranking on page 1 for it, but maybe only 1 or 2 competitors are ranking on the top. Now, what's the logic behind this? And again, this logic is not necessarily Helium 10 centric. Now, Helium 10 just happens to be the only tool you can use to find this information, but this is just a logical way of doing keyword research. There's going to be keywords that maybe only 1 or 2 of the top competitors are really crushing it for, but the other competitors might not even know about this keyword, or they might not be optimized with their listing for it, or they're not advertising for this keyword, so they're not performing well. And again, in Helium 10, we have these advanced filters that you can use where you would say, hey, show me keywords where only 1 or 2 of these products are both ranking for it, right? And then you would put there, it needs to have at least 1,000 search volume, but only 1 or 2 are ranking exactly within the first 10 spots. All right. So you're going to get tons of keywords that did not show up in the other step 1 of your keyword research. And so again, what do we have? We've got the 1-click filters that you're now going to be able to use. And you just click opportunity keywords, just 1 click after you have everything. And then boom, you are now going to see all of those keywords that maybe only 1 or 2 competitors are ranking for. So one of the examples I gave was of this collagen gummy bears. And a keyword that came up with this 1-click filter was hair pills. And the reason why it came up and it didn't come up in my first search was that there's only 1 competitor who is on page 1 for it. They're at page 1, position 8. All of the other top competitors were like at 95, 249, 264, etc. So that means they're probably on like page 5, 6, 7, right? And this could be valuable because let's say somebody types in the keyword hair pills, right? And what they're really looking for is collagen gummies, okay? So if they're doing that, right now, they are only seeing 1 collagen gummy on page 1, that 1 competitor who's there, and none of the other top competitors are there. So that competitor is gobbling up all the sales of the people who were really liking gummy bears for their hair pills, right? But now if you try and use that keyword and get on page 1, now you can take a lot of those sales without having to compete with the other 7 competitors. So it's a very valuable way of doing keyword research. You've always been able to do it in Helium 10. Now you can do it with just 1 click. Another thing that we launched recently was our Chrome extension update. So a lot of sellers were like saying, hey, I want to know where these sellers are from on page 1 or just any page that I'm on. If everybody is from China or India, that might give me the indication that there's a lot of factories selling direct, and that might be tough for me. Or conversely, you might think, well, there's a lot of foreign sellers here. Maybe English is not their first language. I might be able to optimize a listing better. There's no one good way or one bad way to extrapolate this data. It's up to you what to do with that. But now on any search result page, we are showing the country of origin of the seller the last time that we checked who had the buy box. Like, for example, on a coffin shelf, you can see actually most sellers are from the US, but there's 1 from China and 1 from Great Britain. The other update we have on the Chrome extension is on the bottom right of the page, guys. Just go to any search result page. You are going to see a button for X-ray. And the reason why, customers were wanting this was because we have so many tools in our Chrome extension. You got to click the Chrome extension and then scroll down in the menu to find which tool you want. But most of you guys are just trying to use X-ray. So now instead of having to click the Chrome extension, you just hit 1 time this Chrome extension or the X-ray button, and now you can get right to X-ray. Speaking of X-ray, within X-ray, we also have that seller country so that you can see everything on page 1, where the sellers are coming from. And then also on the product pages, you now have the estimated sales right there on the product page without even having to click X-ray. So a lot of sellers were asking about that. It's like, hey, I just found this product on Amazon. I don't want to have to go through and run X-ray to see what's happening on all the products on that page. Can I just see what the estimated sales are for that product without having to click anything? Now you can go ahead and do that. Next up, Carrie, who was actually on the webinar with me, started talking about some of our Walmart updates. So the first update is in our tool keyword tracker. First of all, guys, again, start selling on Walmart. It's if you're an Amazon seller, you guys should be selling on Walmart. If you are selling on Walmart, start using Keyword Tracker. Now we added search volume within Keyword Tracker so that you can properly see what's going on. Like, for example, we added our Helium 10 egg tray. Now on Amazon, one of the main keywords is wooden egg tray, and another one is egg tray for countertop. However, thanks to Helium 10 having accurate Walmart search volume data, we actually show that on Walmart, wooden egg tray only gets 9 searches a month. All right. And egg tray for countertop is so low, we don't even show it getting any searches a month. So if you were basing your keyword strategy on what's going on in Amazon, I would have been screwed here on Walmart because I would be going after the wrong keyword. So make sure to use Keyword Tracker for Walmart and check out the search volume of the keywords on Walmart because it is very different than on Amazon. The other thing we have for those of you who maybe aren't selling on Walmart yet and you're interested in learning more about what it is, we have Freedom Ticket 3.0 Walmart edition. All right. We added a bonus module week to Freedom Ticket. So all of you Helium 10 members out there, go into Freedom Ticket. You've got full access to this. And we added 25 new modules, hours of training on how to sell on Walmart.com A to Z, especially geared to those of you who are currently Amazon sellers only. We teach you how to set up the Walmart account. Carrie talks about how to optimize your listing, how to do the keyword research, how to do advertising, et cetera, et cetera. So all of those modules, make sure to go into Freedom Ticket now and start learning. Maybe you're not ready to sell on Walmart yet, but start getting ready with your knowledge on how to sell on Walmart. We also talked about the Winning with Walmart Facebook group. If you want to start, networking with other Walmart sellers, add that group, Winning with Walmart, Helium 10. You can find it and add yourself to that group. Carrie goes live there once every week. We call it Winning with Walmart Wednesdays, I believe, where she does Ask Me Anythings about selling on Walmart. So make sure to join that group and sign up for her live trainings. All right. The other thing I did was I kind of gave this little questionnaire in other languages. I was like, guys, hablas español? Parli italiano? Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Ni sho zhongwen ma? All right. So basically, if you understood one of those questions, you speak one of the 4 languages that we just added for Helium 10. So now Helium 10 is in these other languages. Now, why did we add this? Well, a lot of our customers, English is not their first language. And so we were like, hey, we need to go ahead and start translating Helium 10 to these other languages so that you can get the most out of the tool more. So we started with those languages, Italian, German, Spanish, and Chinese. And so a lot of our main tools like Cerebro, X-Ray, the Chrome extension, Magnet, etc., are now in these languages. So make sure to take advantage of this, guys. If you speak those languages, and if you speak a different language, make sure to submit to Helium 10 which language you speak so that we can maybe prioritize what's the next kind of language groups that we're going to go ahead and get started on. Now, we invited at that point Adam from he's one of our vice presidents here at Helium 10. We were talking about the new Seller Solutions Hub. You guys probably remember that as the Helium 10 directory, the trusted partner directory is what we used to call it. This is a directory or a hub of all of our bunch of different service providers out there, people who have agencies, people who have shipping companies, people who do listing optimization, inspection companies, sourcing agents. We have so many different service providers on things that Helium 10 doesn't provide, but you need as an Amazon seller. So we compiled them all into our Seller Solutions Hub. That's the brand new name for this. And we've got a lot of new functions on there too. So you might be wondering, well, how can I trust this service provider? Well, we have the opportunity where if you have experience or any of our users have experience with any of the companies here, you can leave reviews. All right. And if there's a company that is getting great reviews from verified Helium 10 members, maybe that will give you a little bit more comfortability of using them, or the opposite might be true. And if we find somebody maybe who is giving really bad experiences out there, we'll probably remove them from the Seller Solutions Hub. So guys, make sure to take advantage of this. You can go to hub.helium10.com in order to go ahead and check out the different companies that are there. Because, how many times you see in the Facebook group, hey, anybody have a recommendation for an accountant, or anybody have a recommendation for a shipping company? Well, now go to hub.helium10.com to get that information. The next thing we talked about was the Sell and Scale Summit, that you guys all know about. That is coming up on September 19th to 22nd. We've got great speakers. We had mentioned some of those on the show that we're bringing, like Gary Vee and Lazar and Trevin, Melanie, Destiny, Kevin King, and Melissa from Packview. What does everybody except Gary Vee have in common? They've all been on the Serious Sellers podcast. So guys, make sure to come out, go to sellandscalesummit.com or h10.me/S3. Don't forget, you can get $100 off your admission to Sell and Scale Summit by, again, going to h10.me/S3 and enter the code S3BS100. That's S3BS as in Bradley Sutton. 100. S3BS100 gets you $100 off of S3. The next tool that we announced that we just launched is called the Estimated Brand Value. All right. You're going to see this at the top right of your screen in your Helium 10 dashboard. And if you're a private label seller, this is not meant for wholesale or arbitrage sellers. So for those of you who are strictly private label, if you have at least 12 months worth of selling history on Amazon, we're going to use an algorithm that we developed that, came from input from companies who buy other Amazon companies on what just a rough estimate would be on how much your business could be worth. All right. And it's called Estimated Brand Value. And you'll see it at the top right of your Helium 10 dashboard. So that's a brand new tool that we just launched. Now, another thing that I was super excited to announce was about Listing Builder. Listing Builder is something that you guys should hopefully all be using. Or not Listing Builder. I said Listing Builder. I meant Listing Analyzer. Listing Analyzer is something that you guys all should be using in order to kind of like analyze your niche at a more kind of top level view as opposed to just the keywords. So like right now, if you're a platinum member, and it's always been like this, when you enter in a group of ASINs in Listing Analyzer, you'll get a summary of kind of like what their listing quality score is and what the ASIN is and the title. But now if you've got Diamond or Elite, what you're going to see if you enter in these listings here is a whole bunch of information. You're going to see their listing quality score one by one, their star rating, the number of reviews they have, how many months or how long they've been on Amazon, their price, each one, their estimated monthly sales, their estimated monthly revenue, the fulfillment, the country of origin of the main seller, how many top 10 keywords, how many keywords do they have in the top 10 of search results? And of those top 10 keywords, what is the total search volume? All right. Tons and tons of information you're going to get now if you have a Diamond or Elite membership in order to get this information. So this is great, guys, to use in order to get a more holistic view of what is happening with your main competitors. Another thing that Listing Analyzer has always done at the very bottom, you guys probably know, is we show kind of a summary of the top keywords in a certain niche. So if you entered in 7 or 8 products, we'll show you the keywords that mostly are in the top 10 for those products. But now you have a little bit more information. You're going to see an entire chart of all of those competitors and where each one of them is ranking for those top keywords that most of them are in the top 10. So you can kind of see where the holes in the market are or which competitors are really just crushing it. Like not only are they in the top 10, but they're like in the top 3. You can see it all in a nice little graphical interface here. One thing that we've always been talking about at Helium 10 in our listing optimization webinars, going back to even 2018 and 2019, is that you need to be analyzing what we call niche themes. And this is looking at groups of images of your competitors to see, are they doing something similar with the main image? Like I had shown an example of phone cases where everybody had in their phone case a picture of the front and back as their main image. So, you should probably do that too if you're selling in that niche. And then looking at their secondary images in order to see if there are any themes going on. Like in that phone case niche that I had shown a picture of in 2019, I showed how everybody had like their second or third image was a picture of a phone dropping and showing that the phone case is protecting the corner. So guess what? If that's working for everybody, you need to probably have that in your listing as well. And then so to make things easier now here in 2022, this technique is still valid now as it was in 2012, is in Listing Analyzer. If you have Diamond or Elite plan, you are now, with the click of a button called Media Comparison, going to see the full thumbnails of all of the images of all of these listings that you are putting into Listing Analyzer. So in an instant, you can now pick up on the themes. Like if I ran all these gummy bears, I could see that every single one has a main image that has a 3D photography as opposed to this traditional photography. I can see at an instant that every single one has the supplement facts as one of the main images. Another thing that was a surprise to me, I think we all know that if you have a supplement, you need to put the supplement facts, but every single one had a picture that shows a human hand holding like one of the gummy bears to show the size. Like I wouldn't have thought about that. But it must be super important to this niche because every single one of these top competitors, they all had that there. So this is just great. It's something that you can now print off and give to your graphic designers or your photography team to like kind of tell them, hey, look at this theme of what's working for the competitors. How can we stick with this general theme, but maybe do it a little bit better? In the past, you would have to go to every single listing and then copy one by one all of their images and put it into like a Google Sheet or something like that, and then give it to your designers. No more. You just one click. You can do that now. The next thing we talked about was Helium 10 Academy, guys, was now completely updated. All right. So academy.helium10.com is where you guys can go to. What Academy is a complete course on all of Helium 10. All right. So for those of you who just want to learn Helium 10 in a more structured way, as opposed to just going to different tools and hitting the learn button, we have a full curriculum that's like college style where you can take each section of Helium 10 and learn it one by one. This is 100% free to study these videos and the course. And we have over 100 videos in this course. So again, academy.helium10.com. You would register for your own account there. It's separate from Helium 10, and it's completely free to take this whole course. Now, at the end of it, yeah, you can go ahead and get certified. And just like with Microsoft or Adobe, there's a cost that's involved with that. You don't have to take the certification. There's only like maybe 200 people who have actually gotten fully certified. But if you choose to do so, it's $77 in order to get that certification. And then that's something that you can tie in to your LinkedIn account, and you can put on your resume, and that people can verify, do you have a valid Academy certification? They can definitely check on that. The next thing we had a question for people, and we posed is like, hey, let's say you're doing your PPC and you're wondering, I really want to be on the top of this page in my sponsor results. How can I know if I need to raise my bid? Or how can I know if it's okay to lower it or not? All right. And so what's the answer on how you would know? Well, you would probably use, you would go into your PPC or you would go into Atomic, and then you'd open up Helium 10 Keyword Tracker, because we're actually tracking the sponsored ad placement, right? So let's say you were coming up on page 2 because you're maybe the 12th sponsored ad that shows up. Well, you would see the number 12 there in Keyword Tracker, and either hour by hour or day by day, you can track where you're showing up. Well, the same thing, guys. How do we make that easier for you? Well, the team really knocked this one out of the park. In Atomic, which is Helium 10's PPC tool, now we have your keyword tracker information for both organic and sponsored right there next to your bids and right there next to your information in the Helium 10 Atomic. So now you can be like, you know what? I'm page 2 on my sponsored ads, and my bid is $1. Let me raise my bid to like $1.25 or $1.50 so that I can see if I can move that sponsored position up. So this is probably one of the number one things that people for months and months and months have been asking Helium 10 to add to Atomic, so that they don't have to open up multiple windows and try and go back and forth and figure out where is this keyword and where is this keyword in Keyword Tracker and what was my bid on this day and where was I showing up on Keyword Tracker on this day. You can do that right now, right within Atomic. So that was a huge increase or a huge benefit, I should say. Another thing we are launching is what we call it the Atomic Blast Off training course. And that's actually, next one is starting on June the 28th at 8 a.m. This is an 8-week training course that's 100% free, given by our staff of experts who are going to help you understand how best to utilize Atomic to help your business. So if you guys are interested in taking that, make sure to just reach out to customer service. I could give you the link to it, but it would take, it's probably too hard for you guys to write down if you're listening to this podcast. So just go to customer support and say, hey, how can I enter the Atomic Bootcamp or Atomic Blast Off Bootcamp? That's a mouthful right there. And the customer support will go ahead and add you that. The next one is starting on June 28th of this year. So make sure to join that, completely free. You don't even have to be a Diamond member to take advantage of that. If you're a Platinum member, you can take advantage of that as well. Next quiz we gave out, all right? We've talked about before how important analytics are to a business. Well, how do you view the page sessions, conversion rate, unit session percentage? How do you view all these things, right? Well, the answer is you have to view it inside of Seller Central in what's called your business reports. And you'd have to go into Seller Central every day. And then maybe you want to tie some of that information back to Helium 10. You got to go back to Helium 10 and take a look at that. Those days are no longer, guys. You now have your business reports inside of Helium 10. So everybody Platinum and above, go to your profits page and then hit product performance. Product performance, you've always been able to see things like your gross revenue and your margins and your units that you've sold and how many refunds. Well, now you're going to see 3 new columns: page views, sessions, and unit session percentage. So like I'm looking at my Project X and I'm like, wow, look at this egg tray. I'm getting 12% unit session percentage. I'm doing pretty good on there. All right. 12% of the people who end up on my page, they end up buying my product. But then I'm looking at the purple coffin shelf and my unit session percentage is only 4%. Well, that's going to make me dive into why, like what is going on? Like what's so bad about me compared to my competitors that 96% of the people who visit my page are not ending up buying the product, right? So how do you have this information? It's now inside of Helium 10, the same information that you used to have to go digging for inside of Seller Central. Now, if you guys are a Diamond or Elite member, you have a little something extra on your dashboard. You guys have had access to our profit summary comparison tool where you can compare things like your sales for a certain day to a keyword tracker rank or your BSR or to a number of other data points. Well, now you can compare your sales directly with things like your sessions or your unit session percentage. So you can see what the correlation is. Just say like, my sales really went down for last week. Was it because my unit sessions went down, or did my conversion rate go down? Well, now instead of trying to guess, you're going to have all of that information right there on the dashboard of Helium 10. So how cool is that, guys? That's pretty cool, I think. Another thing we talked about was how it's Helium 10's 6th anniversary this month here in May. It's kind of crazy. Helium 10 turn 6. All right. So there's so many things in the history of Helium 10. You know, the first episode of the AM/PM podcast, which is what started it all, was launched in March of 2016, believe it or not. The first free tool that was made available was Scribbles in Helium 10, and that was available in April of 2016. And the first customer signed up for Helium 10 in May of 2016. And so through the years, we've hit so many milestones. Like we hit 1 million members total for since that date in 2016. In 2021, here in 2022, we hit 2 million members. In February of 2022, we hit 700,000 Chrome extension users, and we hit the 300 team members milestone as well, which is kind of crazy. When I joined the company 4 years ago, there was only 20 of us in a WeWork office, and now to think that there's now over 300 employees, it's kind of crazy. So it's been really great to see the growth of Helium 10, and that's all thanks to you guys. So if you guys are interested to get started with Helium 10, make sure to use the code SSP10. You can get 10% off for life for Helium 10. SSP10 will give you that platinum or diamond account level. As you saw from today, there's a lot of tools that are only available to Diamond members. So if you guys want to give that a test drive, try it out for a month. And if you don't like it, you can always go back to Platinum for, you can get your full money back. So anyways, guys, every month we're going to be doing something like this. I might not always put it in a podcast like this. I haven't decided yet, but every month around the 19th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, around there of every month, we are going to be launching new things. Again, this is a bigger, better launch that we're going to do every month. And the next one, you can mark your calendars, is on June 16th, 2022 at 11 a.m. We're going to be doing another bigger, better launch webinar where we're going to show you all of the other new tools that we have available. And remember, this all comes from you guys. So those of you who are Helium 10 members, even if you're on a free account, if there's something you want to see Helium 10 incorporate, or something you're still having to use another tool and you have another subscription, you want to cancel it because everything else you use in Helium 10, well, make sure to hit the question mark on the top right of your Helium 10 screen and then hit share your ideas or submit your ideas and let us know, because that is what we use to drive our product roadmap, because we're trying to help you guys get also bigger and better on Amazon by launching more products just like we're doing here at Helium 10. So again, thank you guys for tuning into this episode. I hope you're going to enjoy some of these new features that Helium 10 has, and we'll see you in the next episode.